Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for taking your time out of the day to join us for our latest webinar, talking about how you can stay connected with SMS messaging. Just a few housekeeping tips. Today, the webinar will be scheduled for 30 minutes, and all participants listening will be in listen-only mode. There will be questions addressed at the end, so please, throughout the webinar, you can ask some questions in the question box, and that will be monitored by one of our presenters. The webinar will be recorded and it will be sent via email to all attendees afterwards. I'm now going to hand over to today's presenter, Jake McCarroll, who works with Enterprise Sales for Engage Europe. Jake?
Thanks for the introduction, Lanray. Hi, everyone. Yeah, so as Lanray mentioned, I'm Jake and I work with our enterprise clients here in the UK. Today, I'm going to be speaking about customer engagement trends during this pandemic and how our clients, who a lot of you have probably engaged with in some way over the last few weeks, are effectively and sensitively staying connected with you all. I'll also touch on RCS and open up some questions at the end. So yeah, please contribute. We don't actually have a full 30 minutes of content today intentionally because we want this to be interactive. So please ask a question or a few, because ultimately that's going to help everyone on this take as much away from the next 30 minutes of their day. I'll start by telling you a little bit about Engage. We're a mobile comms company with over 20 years experience helping some of the world's biggest brands to stay connected with their customers. We're connected globally to over 600 operators in all major countries. We have a very reliable platform sending billions of messages each year, which also gives us a great buying power as well. And we offer multiple services within what we call the mobile comms ecosystem. So that includes SMS, which we'll touch upon a lot today, but also push notifications, mobile payments, rich communication services, RCS, and most recently moved into the OTT space as well. So when I say OTT, if you're not familiar, that means things like Apple Business Chat. That also means Facebook business messaging and WhatsApp business messaging as well. So yeah, we have a lot of services within this industry. But we're not here to just talk about Engage. I'll get back to it, and I wanted to set the scene with a few stats on I guess the latest trends. I can speak for myself. I definitely fit into the 67% on the first stat. I spend a lot more time on my phone at the moment than I probably should, but I am. But with that, it presents an opportunity for brands to market to me, which some are leveraging. And I guess moving on to the next, I'm also part of the 57 that want brands to provide me with practical information as well. I actually ordered an instrument at the beginning of lockdown, which ended up not being available because it was being shipped from a store which had closed. But the company sent me a link to similar stuff in their warehouse, which was still open, and they managed to get me to buy one of those items instead and lock in a sale, which they otherwise would have lost, which I thought was a win-win for everyone because I still got what I wanted and they didn't lose out on a sale because that part of their business is closed, which is a positive for everyone. And I think consumers always really remember these positive engagements as much as they do the negative. So it's always really important that you engage with people in the right way, and it's important that you react as efficiently as you possibly can. And from experience, I've been in this industry for a while now, we know that the quickest way to get a message to your customer base, without doubt, is SMS. That's why any click and collect programs done through text, delivery notifications, perhaps the most important messaging that you get, fraud notifications, they're not calls, they're not letters, it's all done through text. Doctor's appointments, if you're really unlucky and there's an outage in your area, your energy supplier is going to send you a text message. They're not going to try and call everyone in a town or send everyone a letter. It's just not effective. But we know people read their text messages pretty much as soon as they get them all the time, and it's efficient a way to get a message out as quickly as possible. The last stat with regards to RCS, when we add that into the equation, it just adds more gravitas. If you're not familiar with RCS, it's the next generation of messaging, rich communication services, and I'm actually going to talk a little bit more about that further through the presentation. So yeah, do stay tuned if you are interested. But one of the biggest challenges our customers like you are facing at the moment is keeping customers engaged. Some things are out of our control during a time like this. It's undeniable that some companies are going to be real winners and some companies not so much. But wherever you think that your company sits on that scale, now is probably a really good time to reprioritize how you stay connected with your customers. You might be at a point where acquisition of a new client seems really difficult, and you won't be the only person in that situation. It's quite common at the moment, but you still have an existing client base, so you can always switch things up to how you normally engage and try and speak to your existing clients to make some money there. Perhaps sending campaigns. I mean, I'm not a marketeer, but you could send a campaign to say, look, we see that you purchased X item a few months ago. Other clients, or other customers, I should say, that bought this were also interested in this line. So here's a 20% discount code on us. Why don't you go and buy something else? And that could work. But the point I'm really trying to make here is that we're in completely uncharted territory, so it's fine to explore new engagement methods, but just keep reviewing your priorities. And if something doesn't work, it's not something to get disheartened about. It's an opportunity to try something new. And then when you find something that does work, you can continue to use that again and again throughout this time to ultimately help your company become more profitable, which is obviously very important. When it comes to SMS marketing particularly, customers respond best to something that's immediately actionable or redeemable. In fact, 3/4 of your customers will prefer to receive offers via text. So if that's something you're doing, great. If not, it's certainly an area where you can look. Furthermore, did you know that 1/4 of all your customers would spend more when redeeming a mobile offer? So SMS, we obviously know it costs to send a text message, and it's not what a lot of people perceive as free email, although you pay for the platforms. But what's important is that when the conversions are this much higher, there's obviously a strong ROI for your business. That varies from one company to the next, and we can work with you to help work that out. But commonly, the first couple of campaigns through SMS will pay for the cost of the entire service. So then moving forward, you're looking at pure profit, which is obviously a really strong business case to take back to your colleagues. And that's the great thing about SMS marketing as well, is it returns well on the investment, but it's also really easy to set up. So you don't have to be technically minded to do it. You could get a spreadsheet of 500,000 of your customers' names and numbers, and I'd be surprised if it took you more than 10 minutes to get out a campaign. It's literally as simple as uploading the database, creating a rule so it calls in their name, and then you just write the copy and ping it out to your users, and they can then start redeeming vouchers, and you can track it all through our campaign management tool, which is obviously very, very intuitive. But sometimes one-off messages like that don't work. And you want to be able to do something a little bit more exciting, and that's when we use a multi-step campaign builder. We call it multi-step, I call it multi-step at least. A lot of people call it conversational programs, but essentially it's just a program that facilitates multiple two-way messages. So SMS multi-steps are incredibly straightforward. And it's set up, it's just the preferred means of communication. Not all interactions need to go through phone or through email. Customers like it when they can just do it on their own terms through their phone, whether that's for redeeming vouchers or for anything to do with customer support. We know that not all customer support can be done via text, and no company is going to get rid of their call center overnight. But we know that it's a lot more straightforward for customers, and people like to be able to solve their problems via text, and sometimes it works out a lot cheaper. And think of an example for one of our clients, one of the divisions of their organization, it cost them £1.92 to service every customer that called up for a customer support query. Some of them are really straightforward, But anyway, these folks managed to take all of these hundreds of thousands of calls that they received and create a SMS program to solve those common questions. The SMS flow compared to the 192 per call was only 21 to 27p. So it just proves that when done effectively, you can save yourself lots of money. The SMS streamlines all of your interactions with your customers and just helps you stay connected in an effective way. It's not going to replace any of your other comms tools such as email or push or post, but what it's going to do is it's going to complement them really well. And the companies that see the best engagement rates across the board use SMS more than the companies that don't use it as much. So I think there's a real key takeaway from that as well. But yeah, another messaging technology that I touched upon earlier is RCS, which is Rich Communication Services. It's the evolution of SMS. Yeah, and it's really, really cool. It's a unique opportunity for you to revolutionize the way that you connect with your customers. And I think that's really powerful. I honestly think it's great. The media-rich experience means consumers no longer need to download a specific app to interact with a specific brand. Instead, a brand can just provide almost all of the functionality within an app to the natively installed text application on all devices. An example of that could be like this one, which is buying clothes, but it could also be scheduling appointments. You could use it if you're an airline, you could use it to book flights. You can extend that journey. You can use it to send boarding passes as well. And it's all done within a completely secure messaging gateway. And yeah, this just shows what the brand would look like to your customers in your inbox next to all of the messages that they'll receive from, I know I get loads from couriers or the bank or a pizza company. And it's just RCS makes your brand just pop out. Even more so at the moment, actually, because RCS is a brand new technology. So you're probably going to be one of the first in your industry to be using it. So it just gives you even more of an incredible opportunity to stand out from the rest. And yeah, we've also got a video of how this would work. So the customer receives this message into their inbox after raising a ticket somehow. They hit the customer support option. We just create a carousel of all of the possible customer support topics. So you can scroll through, select the one which is most relevant, which is recent order. Perhaps they want to edit the order, so they just click on that. We then give them a couple of options around whether it's changing the date, changing the time, all within the app. You don't have to leave the app at any point of this, sorry, you don't have to leave the text application at any point of this. And you can just, through a few clicks, change the interaction and change the delivery date, I should say, so the customer gets their item when they want it. When it gets updated in this front end, we just use an API connection to ping you the latest details, so you can amend the delivery on your side. It's a win-win because the customer gets their clothes in this case exactly when they want, and you don't have to waste any money on an unfulfillable delivery slot. It's just as seamless as sending a message to the client and then updating what they want. But yeah, as I said, we don't have tons of content today. We're just going to keep it quite straightforward. So that almost wraps things up. I've just got a couple more bits on takeaways. So if you haven't already, please do add some questions to the text box. So yeah, just a few takeaways from me really. One of the key things that I do that I find really helpful when having conversations with some of our clients is signing up to any alerts from all companies that I possibly can. That way, you can always see what other companies are doing, which is useful for obvious reasons. And most importantly, you can see what they're doing well. As always, I guess, but particularly now, it's imperative that we keep people up to date. So it's good to get some tips and tricks from some of your competitors. I ordered some stuff from an online, I can say the name actually, I ordered some stuff from Boots a little while ago, and it had a week's delivery time. The next day I got a message from them to say that they were struggling to fulfill orders because obviously everyone was ordering stuff from them, which is understandable. They were really apologetic, and they just said that there's a chance it could be late. Then like 5 days after that, I got a text to say, oh, actually, well, not oh, actually, to say that your delivery is going to be with you tomorrow. And that was earlier than when it was originally supposed to be with me. So that felt like a huge win. So I was super happy with that, and it was just a positive interaction with that brand. So next time I need something that I know I can get from them, I'm likely to do that. Furthermore, it's important to keep people aware who you are. You don't want to drop out of someone's spending habits. There's a chance that you might do at the moment, but it's important they know that you still exist. Obviously, you should get back into their spending habits if you can, but ultimately ensure that when this is all over, for the products that you sell, their customer's going to come back to you and not go to one of your competitors that's been engaging with them through this period. And let people know how to contact you. If they need you, they'll contact you, but kind of keep people interested and keep people engaged. Where possible, try and run campaigns that are perhaps a little bit more casual, a little bit more fun than normal, offer discounts, because soon there's going to be a huge upturn, and it's important that when that happens, you're front and center of people's minds, and they're going to go to you and not one of your competitors, which is ultimately what we're all in the business of, is winning new customers and retaining them as well. But yeah, I guess that's kind of pretty much all I wanted to run through today. So I hope you found it useful. Like I said, I'm happy to stick around for any questions if anyone has any. I know Lamre's been monitoring the question box. So Lamre, have we had anything come through?
Yes, thanks, Jake. We do have a few questions. I'm just going to go through here. And the first one is, we have shortcodes set up with an existing partner. Would we lose those if we switched providers?
Yeah, so good question. You won't. The short answer is no. You can transfer over dedicated shortcodes to whoever you want, Mgage or another. The time for this varies depending on the operator. Some can transfer over in a week, some can take up to 4 weeks, but none take longer than 4 weeks. We have SLAs with each of the operators, so if you want to know a breakdown of how long it's going to take case by case, just let me know and I can share that with you. But yeah, you won't lose it, and you can transfer it over like painlessly.
Great, thanks, Jake. The next question is actually on RCS, and it's just simply asking, how can we get set up on RCS?
Yeah, so straightforwardly, we have a onboarding form which customers need to fill in. You need to register your interest essentially with providers. So one of the great things about RCS that I didn't mention is verified sending. It's kind of similar to getting a blue tick on Instagram or Twitter, but it means that you can't, fraudsters can't use your brand to send messages from your logo. So that's really important for a lot of reasons. So we need to get you validated and verified for that process, which is the first step. And we have a form to do that, which is really easy. Once that's happened, it's a technical onboarding between our technical team and yours. And again, it's not strenuous, but it is technical. So we've done it with quite a lot of companies now, so we're pretty streamlined in it. So it's only a matter of weeks, but it's just connecting your databases to ours and getting you set up on a campaign management tool. But it's all quite straightforward.
Great, thank you, Jake. The final question here is, have any of your clients changed their messaging strategies recently?
Yeah, well, I hope all of them have. Yeah, there are probably a few. Most notably, one of our major retail customers, I only found out about this a few days ago actually, but they set up a program for elderly and vulnerable people to get to register for priority deliveries. So when they placed an order, that would then get put into a different case of orders, so they could ensure that whatever they ordered they could get in a really timely manner, which I thought was really, really cool. And there was another example of a company in a similar industry, so another big kind of retailer that a lot of people probably interact with, another case of how they were getting orders to people that were in isolation. So if you did your food shop, obviously if you're in isolation, you can't be letting someone come into your house and put your shopping away. So they were working out ways in which they could get deliveries to those people in a safe and timely manner.
Great, thank you very much, Jake. That is all the questions that we have today. But if you do have any more questions, then feel free to email us at info@mgage.com and we'll be happy to get you in touch with the right consultant. And you can also follow us on our LinkedIn and our Twitter page, where you can keep up with more insights around the messaging industry and what Mgage are doing in this space. I want to thank you all again for joining us this afternoon, and I hope you have an enjoyable rest of the evening, and make sure you stay safe. Thank you. Bye-bye.